bit. Wait, where's my... I'll be right back in a few seconds. You're safe, you're good, I'm good. It's just that I'm on a microphone tablet, so yeah. You don't have... Okay. I'm gonna type my username. Maybe some people knows me from there. Right? Shaking. That's not good. Okay. So some people knows me. I got Septics. I'm a fan artist in the fandom. I'm also an art tutor in traditional and in digital art in Army Academy. I'm also part of the designer team of Army Academy. It's been actually 8 years that I'm doing art school. I started at the age of 14 when I was in high school. Then I started illustration studies. So like I'm very in what we can say art. I'm not like in a specific art like digital art and this. No, I've done a little bit of everything. And through the 8 years, I was able to know what was the pro and the cons of the studies. And through the years, I also had friends that gave up. I also had friends that got it going. I also had friends that had hard time, others that were absolutely amazing in the studies. I saw a little bit of everything, and through the years I've been on Twitter. I see so many people. It's not wrong to have like a bad view on art school, because of course it's not always that great thing that you think it is, but spreading fear and misinformation and scaring other people from potential studies they may love that may help them, it doesn't sit right for me. So that's why I decided to propose myself to be a speaker today for art studies, and maybe helping you in choosing those studies, or maybe helping you to realize that it may not be the best for you. And I'm gonna start with the first point, is that let's get it straight. Let's get it straight. From my own experience and from my friends' experiences, you don't need art school to be a professional artist. That's complete bullshit. You absolutely don't need it. I could name many people that didn't went to art school and they still have been successful. Like, I'm gonna take Mashitrick, for example, that I did My Shadow, that Moron, multiple BDS alternative universe. She's actually a professional artist and she haven't done any art studies. And this is where she is. Just a parenthesis, but if you don't understand me because of my accent, please don't hesitate to ask me to repeat again. There's no problem with that. So yeah, don't think you absolutely need to go to art school to be a professional artist, because no, that's wrong. You can totally do your own thing and still be big. You absolutely don't need art school for this. Like, if you're actually thinking of doing a major in something else and be a professional artist on the side, you can totally do it. There's nothing that's stopping you. Except that if you don't put the work into it, like, yes, then it's stopping you. And it leads me to my other point that, okay, great. Now you know that you don't need art school to be an artist, but you think that maybe you can give it a chance, right? You need to know that art school is not for everyone. But art school is not for you, not because you think you might not be good enough for it. Trust me, I've been in art school and everyone starts at one point. Literally, like. Now, of course, I don't know for other countries. I know in America you need a good portfolio to actually enter a good art school. But in Belgium, you could come out of like any studies. If you wanted to go into art school, you would just get in and you would start drawing then. And like, it's totally fine. But the reason why art school is not for everyone is because the way to work on art is not the same as when you do it alone. Like, for example, when you will do some pieces that your teacher requested for you, you will have a deadline. and you need to be rigorous. You need to actually sometimes work fast. You will have some constraints, like you need to work on certain pieces. You will have to only use 3 colors. You will have to only use a certain media. You can use digital, or you will only use pencils, stuff like that. Or maybe you won't stand the criticism of your teacher, or maybe you will find your piece amazing, but your teacher will say, no, you need to restart it. It's all a question of how you will handle the pressure around it. Like, don't be stressed. You're gonna handle the pressure. It's not like a pressure like you need to do it, or at last minute they will say you, no, it's shit, you're gonna do it again. No, it's absolutely nothing like that. It's like, it's a process. You will show your work to the person and they will guide you, but it's true that you're gonna have to be rigorous in your work. You're gonna have to actually put in the work. You're gonna have to be for it. And yeah, this leads me to another thing, is that you will have to face criticism in art school, which can be hard, because sometimes you will find a piece amazing, you will be sure it will be good, that you will have a lot of points, and sometimes you will be with like 13 on 20 or a D, or not the grade you expected. And you won't understand why. Your teacher will explain to you why, and you won't accept it. Or sometimes you will just show to your teacher something and you will take the criticisms wrong. But you need to learn how to take the criticism right. And it's not even that complicated. Like, there's some stuff when it comes to work. I don't have a drawing here, but like, there's a difference between bad criticism and good criticism. It's simple, but the bad ones will plainly be like a question of taste. Like, I don't like it, I find it ugly, you should restart, and nothing more. Like, no real explanation, nothing you can take out of it that is really good. And at this point, this may not be a real good teacher. This not be the one that will help you the most. So you gotta work by yourself. And this is another reason why art school may not be for you. But then you will face teacher that will actually give you good criticism, like that will explain to you why this may not be good, why you should change this, why you should change that. This color doesn't match the background, you should change with something else. Those are actually good criticism, and you will have to face it in art school. And this is important, just know the difference between the bad and the good ones, because in both ways, criticism is actually something that will hurt you. Like, even nowadays, it would be a lie to say that it doesn't hurt me sometimes when I get criticism, but I'm trying my best to take the good information out of it. And this is very important, that you know the difference between it, and that you don't take it too much by heart, because otherwise you will really get hurt by it. Yes, again, like I said, you will have constraints. You will not always do what you want. There was like many projects that I hated doing it, but I still have done it. And this is another reason why it's hard to do art school, because if you're someone that rather do what you want and not what you get asked to do, this may be a problem. This may actually be a problem for it. But sometimes you gotta deal with it, and sometimes even if you hate it, you may produce actually a good work. I'm just checking because I have points that I need to actually say, and I just don't want to miss any of them. Coming back to criticism, but it's actually good if you go yourself ask the criticism, because that's the only way you're gonna grow as an artist, and that's the only way you're gonna do the best out of your work. And in a certain way, sometimes there will be a work you won't like, or a work you want to be done with it, and it's always good to know what the teachers know, so you can finish that work and work on something you like, something that may be your best work out of all your year. But it's important that you also go to the teacher and ask them what's the best you can do out of your piece, no matter what it is, no matter the study actually. Like, it could be in art studies, any like graphic design, illustration, comics, anything. You need to be like this. It's a very rigorous way of working, and you gotta put the work into it. But again, because I'm putting myself in your shoes, guys, like it seems actually terrifying, but I can assure you that once you're in, you just adapt. Like, it's just like when you do a work that you haven't done before, like a student job, you just get into it and then you get the habit, you know how to work, and else you don't need to be afraid of it. You don't need to actually not applying because I said there's gonna be some pressure, just because I said you're gonna be rigorous. It's something that comes once you're in, so don't be afraid to actually apply in the studies you like and actually just dive into it. Just don't be afraid of it. I'm looking. Yes. If you ever fall on a teacher that tells you that your sleep schedule is gonna be messed up by the work and it's normal, it's not. It's not normal. You deserve a good night of sleep. You deserve to actually take care of your ears while working. It just needs organization. But the teacher that tells you that, I'm saying this because I actually got one that told me that, and I looked at her like, madam, what the fuck? Like, no, guys, your heels pass before the work. So let's imagine you're extremely tired and the deadline is tomorrow, unless if really it's an important work like an exam. If you really need sleep, just get it. Your heels pass before the work. And even when it comes physically, because like we all know, the wrists are the most important part of the body for an artist. You gotta rest it. If you don't rest it, you're gonna have carpal tunnel, you're gonna have other wrist problems. And the more you're gonna force onto it, the more you're gonna be in pain, the less you will be able to work, and the more you're gonna be late on your works. It's important. It's so important that you think about your heels, even for the simple fact that how can you be creative if you're tired as hell? It's impossible. You need to be in a good form for that. You need to think about yourself first. Even if your teacher puts some pressure on you, let's imagine you got only 1 week of work for certain work, you absolutely need to take 1 day of break, or at least a break every 2 hours, or you're gonna be in a total burnout. And it's absolutely something that I believe you and the teacher want to happen, because like I said, it can be some sort of pressure to be in hard studies, but you need to manage yourself. You need to be a little bit organized. Some hard school may be easier than others. Like, for example, I was supposed to go in a certain art school at the other side of the city, but I actually saw what kind of mentality these people were. It's the kind of teachers that likes to put students in competition, a little bit take you for granted. Like, I'm an artist, yeah, you're gonna be thankful that I'm teaching you. Like, hell no, sir, I'm gonna have someone that is willing to help me, not someone that is willing to piss on me. No. And yeah, the one of the teacher on the interview when I was supposed to enter the school actually exploded on me because it was the end of the day. He thought he could do that. And I said, no, I can't, I don't. And switching school to go to the other one on the other side of the city was actually the best choice of my life, because the school I used to be in, they were actually helping people. They were actually teaching people. While the school I was supposed to enter in, some of my friends were there, the teacher were putting so much more pressure. They were much more mean. Like, one of my friends showed me the work she did, and it's totally the kind of work that in my school, I know she will be praised for it. The teacher at her school literally said, it's not that great, maybe you should reconsider doing your studies, really, that's all you did for the years, when it was a whole book. And I was like, dear God. And no, sometimes in art school, you gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta actually defend your project. That's also something else you will have to do. in art studies, it's to defend your project. Because sometimes teacher wants to see the difference between their taste and what's actually a good work. So like sometimes you gotta defend your project, you gotta explain and else. So be aware that art studies are like the other. It's not because we don't study a lot like in other university that it means that our studies are actually easier. It's not. You can even imagine sometimes how tiring it can be to be creative that much. And I think I'm sort of done already, but if there's some question that I can answer, I'm willing to do it. Or maybe some point will come in my mind and I will be able to just say it. Does anyone have questions?
Well, as
Art block. Oh, I'm sorry. Which one is talking?
me. I was going to say that, guys, well, take this opportunity because she's an Omitian artist and it is always awesome to receive some feedback or even some answers from someone who actually works in the field. So, and also, she's great, as you can see, so go ahead, ask those questions that you had in the back of your mind. And well, we had actually some questions in the chat. Lava Luna, said, how about art block?
This is not something that I believe they will teach you in art school, although your teachers may help you for this, but it's sometimes something that you will have to overcome yourself. What I actually do with art block is watching stuff that I like spit paint. I have actually a lot of illustrated books since I used to be in illustration studies. I read them. I go on Twitter. I inspire myself from other artists. I just go into the art world and I just dive into it. It's something that is different from one to another. Sometimes it takes just times before people have their inspiration back. And for some people like me, it just takes to just dive into the art world and get inspired. It really depends on the people. I just hope I answered you, but if you have other questions, you can just hit me up again on the messages. Okay, what else?
And also, please, for this, if I said a username wrong, please correct me as well. Please. So, Sudarsana said, hello, can you recommend some English art books to read?
I don't really have English art book. Well, actually, the most that I have is like illustration books, because since I was in the illustration field, this is what I used to read to inspire myself. Can you just tell me what kind of art books you're talking about? Just like so I can answer you precisely and guide you correctly. Okay, next question, and maybe I will come back to this one a little bit later.
Sure thing. Then Iana said, I was wondering, in art school, do they actually touch some basics?
Honestly, it all depends on the school. Like, how to explain? Actually, when I was in high school for art school, they used to teach us like about the shape, about the shading and else. When I arrived in my university, they weren't exactly that technique. Again, I was in illustration and they were more like easy peasy lemon squeezy, like peace and love, like if I can say it like that. It's for them, it wasn't like being that schooly. It was more being like free in your way to draw. When I was in living drawing class, I was way too strict in my way to drawing. They were like, yes, wait, I do have work on my art school. It was just below my computer. Oh God. But yeah, let me show you. Like, I have actually have the great example of what my school actually asked me in my living drawing class. This was way too strict for them. Like they appreciated it, but they were like, "You're too strict in your way to work. We want freedom." And in my third year of art school, there's a little bit of nudity. I don't know if you guys can see well, but I started playing with like complementary color like green and red, or purple and yellow, blue and orange. And they actually appreciated this work much more than the other one that I showed you. Like, it really all depends. It really all depends on the school, because actually I'm in graphic design right now, and they're actually teaching the basis to the students. Why in my last university they weren't. It really depends on the school. But actually I believe that school does help you, but you gotta work on this too by yourself. Like, if you want to do characters, maybe it's better to take what school give you and to work by yourself on it. It really depends on the school, but sometimes they teach you basics, sometimes they give you free cards. You do what you want. Next question.
All right, going back to Sudarsana question, she says, books about Vincent van Gogh, Claude Monet, or Picasso, etc. For the English
I'm sorry.
art books.
I'm really sorry. I don't have this kind of book with me. I'm really sorry. I'm very sorry.
No, don't worry. Then we have a question from Haha. They say, what are the job opportunities as artists?
Wait, because I'm curious. Let me just. Sorry. Well, it all depends on the art fields. Like, if you want to be an illustrator, you gotta work, because it's actually some kind of competitive field, in the way that there's a lot of people that want to be an illustrator. You need to think like this. You don't need to be like the best one illustrator, like the one that everyone knows. You just need to be the one that you want to be, and the one that put the work into it. You don't need to be the best. You need to be yourself, and you need to just put your work online. How to explain it better? I don't know how to explain better. It's like, I'm gonna take the example of a friend again, that is actually like a professional illustrator, but she actually like work onto it, and she put it on illustration, and it's sort of a question of luck. It really depends on your studies, because illustration studies, to find a job, you're gonna put into the work, and it's kind of a little bit of luck, if I can say it like this. But for example, if I do graphic design, I have much more chances to have a job, because it's not something that you really do freelances most of the time. You can choose to be freelance, but you can also have more job opportunities with this than in illustration. But illustration can actually give you a good basis. Like, I'm entering graphic design right now, and thanks God, I did illustration studies before, because it's helping me so much right now. So yeah, it really depends on the art studies you do. But if you ever think about having a job in the art field, you should start searching on the internet what kind of art stuff you want to do in the future, like how job. Like, there's art everywhere, even in animation. Like, even in animation, you could have a job in animation. You could have a job as a cover artist for any books. You could have a job for web designer. Art is everywhere. It really just depends on what you want to do. That's the question. Like, yes, there's some field that doesn't give you much job opportunities, but there's also other type of art that can give you more job opportunities. And it's more about what you want to do and how you're gonna put the work into it. I hope I answered your question well, but next question. You can don't hesitate to ask me again.
Sure thing. Then we have a question from BTS Are My Home. Mine too. How did you know?
Nice, they're my home too. Do we have the same key?
Well, I believe it doesn't have exactly a key. Like, it's a door always open. But let's continue.
The magic shop.
How did you know you want to do art?
Ha! Since I was little, I always told my mom, Mama, I want to be an artist. Yeah, my daughter. Then at 9, I'm 9 years old. Mama, I want to be an artist. Yeah, sure. At 12, Mama, I want to be an artist. Wendy, maybe you should consider something else. At 14 years old, no, Mama, I want to do art. Like, it has been always hard in all my life. And it may be too much information, but I actually suffer from dyscalculia. And I'm not someone that is really onto studying that much. Like, although I can be someone that is great to talk to and good to advise, it will be difficult for me to do like psychology studies because I'm not someone studious. But art have always been something that I wanted to do. So even if it was easier for me to do all the studies, I'm someone that when it's passionate, I need to do the studies for it. Like, it's like, for example, you want to be a farmer. Like, great example, you want to be a farmer. You want to produce fruits and vegetables, but your parents are worried and they tell you to be an advocate. If you don't have the patience for it, the studies may be too hard to do. You may fail your year. You may not be in a great space. Like, I'm that kind of person. Like, my mom told me, do all the studies and then do art in the evening. No, I can't. I'm not that kind of person. I would have just left the studies. I would have just left. I can do studies I don't like. And I am very lucky that I can do studies that I love. And I'm also lucky that I'm doing now graphic design studies for the simple fact that although I always wanted to do art, I didn't know what job I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to be an animator, an illustrator. I actually chose illustration because it was opening me a lot of doors. It was like a kind of waiting situation where I could do studies I loved and then decide myself. Now I'm 22, I'm finally starting a bachelor in graphic design, and I definitely know this is what I love and this is gonna get me a job that I like. So yeah, I can say that I knew I wanted to do art since I was very little. So I hope it answers your question.
Thank you. And also, we have a question from Alexis Marie. Oh, that's a beautiful name, actually. Can art school be objective or is it highly subjective?
I have to be honest that I'm not an English native, so this one is a little bit complicated to understand
for example,
for me.
Subjective is when someone tells you, oh, well, according to me, this is great enough, or you are lacking on something, but it is based on one person's point of view. While objective, you actually have a basis, for example, a book or probably an article or a guide in which you can, as a student, say to a teacher, hey, but according to this guide or according to this basis, I should be correct. Why did you put it wrong? To give an example.
It all depends on the teacher and on the studies. Like, actually, our school it all depends on the person. Like, our school is gonna, let's say it like this. Our school is gonna give you tools, and you're gonna use those tools in your path. This is how it is. Like, one person hard studies will be different from yours. Maybe it will be guided all along for you. For some, it will be some kind of like a snake, like it just goes in and there. Like, it's a kind of complicated question because it really depends on the person and on what you're gonna do, on the kind of studies you're gonna take. But like, art is like subjective. It's gonna be different for everyone. Like I said, it's giving you keys, but creativity is your main tool that you're gonna use and that you're gonna use for your job and everything. So I'm sorry, it's a little complicated to answer this question for me. I'm very sorry.
Don't worry about it. You're doing amazing.
Thank you.
And then we have a question from Iana. They say, I've been drawing for about 7 years, and my computer art teacher didn't really teach, like explain a lot of what you would call painting or coloring basics, and I was confused. Are you expected to know it already, like teach yourself, or will some of them actually
That's a
teach
good
you?
question. That's actually a good question, because just yesterday I was in my animation classes, and it's not like big animation classes, it's like we're doing it with Illustrator. It's a little bit of hell, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm actually falling on the teacher that sometimes thinks that stuff that actually seems like it should be like this for them is actually not like this for us. And one student told me that about that teacher, and I realized it yesterday, and sadly it all depends on the teacher. But like the fact that your teacher doesn't really like or explain to you what is really painting and colorist basis, sorry, it's because it seems so evident for it, and like those people are actually in their mindset, and they don't see that you guys are newbies and you need to be teaching those stuff. Just like my current teacher, she just does the classes, but sometimes she just doesn't realize that it's not evident for newbies, people that actually just entering the art. So like I'm sorry that you got a teacher like this. Sometimes some teachers are gonna be like this, but you gotta remind them that you're new to it, and that of course you're gonna not know about it, and yes, sadly you're gonna do researches for it, but remind your teacher that you are absolutely new to this. You need to remind them, because like I said, they're stuck in this mindset where it's evident. No, it's not. It's like, it's stupid, but it's like, when you're cooking and you let something cook, and then they're like, can't you see it's cooked? No, I can't see because I don't know when it's cooked, because I don't know about cooking, Like, it's like this. It's as simple as this, but they don't see it because in their mindset, it's just so evident. But like, you gotta remind them that you're new to it, and that you can't know everything. And if they tell you to study research, you will have to research about this. Good luck, and I'm sorry you have a teacher like this that doesn't see that you're actually new to this. Well, not new because you've been drawing for 7 years, but like, you're learning alone, so you don't really know absolutely everything that your teachers know, but like, they should know that since you've been self-taught for a long time, you will not have all the bases that you're getting taught in school. So I'm wishing you good luck with this teacher, and I'm wishing you good luck on your path, and I'm pretty sure you're doing very well.
Thank you. And then there is Chrissy. They say, where do you get your inspiration from to do art?
It all depends. Sometimes it's mostly from music. I don't know, I get the idea like this because of what the music gives me. Like, I'm more of a visual person, if I can say it like this. So when I'm in the bus and I listen to music, I just see like a music video appearing. Even if it's not the right one, it just passes. And sometimes it inspires me like this. Or I just watch spin paint, and I follow a lot of fan artists on my own art account. So like, I mostly get all the art inspiration from there. And also sometimes I just collect illustration book and it inspires me.
Wow. Then we have Frian, and they say, do you learn different art styles in art school, painting, calligraphy, or any other?
When I was in high school, they mostly told me about like graphic pencils. They told me about a little bit of color pencils, I believe. I did all my years gouaches, so now I mastered the technique, but they taught me this. Charcoal. What is the I think it's all. No, wait. I don't know how do we call this crayon, but it's like basically some kind of pencil, and the color is like a little bit, if I can say like this, of blood. It's like blood pencil. I don't know the name of it. I learned about drawing on black paper with white pencil. And when I got into my university in illustration, they told me about acrylic, watercolor, what else? I don't know. I can't remember. They told me also engraving. That's all. That's everything that I touched when I was in art school. But I can speak for the school, but that's actually what my school told me, and I hope other schools do the same too. But if you really want to know more about some school in particular that you want to enter, maybe don't hesitate to reach a student. Sometimes some school have like a representative student, like from the student council. Don't hesitate to go see them or contact them. Usually they have like a Facebook page or a Twitter or I don't know. Don't hesitate to reach them and ask to actually talk to students to know what they're doing. So, because I'm talking from my experiences, and yeah, maybe it applies to every school, but I'm not quite sure about it. But this is everything that I learned during my art studies. Art studies. Oh my god! I can't answer the question.
And then Haha asked, how did you decide what type of art you wanted to do? Because, well, yeah, right. You told us that since you were a kid you wanted to do art, but in which point and how? You said, okay, well, from all the world, from all the universe that art, engulfs, which segment would like to pursue?
Well, the reason why I chose art studies in high school, is that I didn't really knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted to do art, but I didn't know which path I wanted to do it. And while doing those studies, I was able to touch a little bit of everything. Same when I came into illustration, it was like making me touch a little bit of everything. So I was having infography as a class 2 in illustration, and I was touching multiple techniques while doing illustration. I was doing like illustration, illustrated book, posters. I was touching a little bit of everything, and that's the main reason why I choose those studies, because it will help me to actually like narrow what I wanted to choose, like my point of view on certain stuff, and choose what I wanted to do. And since I was doing digital art by myself and I actually liked it, I actually like doing logos. It's actually by being a graphic designer at Army Academy that I knew that maybe it was what I wanted to do, that I decided to choose graphic design, because actually that's what I want to do. And luckily again, now I still have all the doors opening to me, because I can do animation, I can do like logos. Soon normally I should do like web design. It gives me other choices, but it's still narrowing, and I will soon maybe be able to choose what kind of career, what kind of real art I want to do. But yeah, it has been a complicated choice, because like I never really know what I wanted to do in art, but I definitely know stuff that I didn't want to do, like engraving, big paintings, like my best friend was in a painting class, this kind of stuff. No, the rest, yes.
And then we have Sugar Sweet, and they say, I'm studying fashion design, but now I kind of feel stuck. How can I get out of it? Are there any methods for it?
When you said it depends on what you mean by feeling stuck. Like, do you think it's the kind of studies that doesn't suit you? I actually have like a friend that actually went to school to study about fashion and create clothing and stuff like that, and she actually didn't really like it, and she switched it to be a nurse. So it's to tell you how violent it can be, but like maybe if you feel stuck and you think it's not really the studies you want to do, maybe the best you can do is like check what kind of job in the arts field you want to do, or check what kind of other studies you may want to do and maybe more suited for you, and take all the information you want. Now, if you feel stuck in the fashion studies because maybe you think it's too hard or else, but you really want to go on because it's your dream, you gotta push on, you gotta try to hold on, and you gotta do your best to succeed. Because like if it's your dream, even if you fail, because I actually didn't say it, but I failed a year in illustration, I still went on. I still almost grabbed my bachelor in illustration. You gotta go on. Sometimes it's not wrong to just like fail a year and restart it, because sometimes it helps you better in that field. So I hope I answered your question, and I'm wishing you good luck with your studies.
And well, don't worry about it. You are answering every question. They are saying that they so far have got everything you have said, and well, they love the analogy of the cook. So anyway, you're doing amazing. Well, Tasnia says, can I study graphic design even if I don't have creativity? I like doing arts and portraits, even if I'm not that good at it. My creativity level is very low, but I would like to learn different forms of arts. Is it okay for me to pursue arts along with my other major?
Hold on. Because if my simple question is that if you have another major, how will you be able to pursue art at the same time, unless if it's by evening classes? But anyway, the problem is that so you will need creativity to do graphic design, in the way that if you need to do logos, you gotta be creative, because you're gonna get like, for example, I'm gonna get the exercise given to me, like we actually need to do a logo for someone that is doing furniture with recycled pallets, and we needed to do a logo for him, and you gotta take that in mind and create them a logo. So creativity is sort of important, but you need to actually know that you can develop your creativity. You need to actually just dive, if I can say it like this, into the art world, like speed paint, like videos of painting, Pinterest, even art artists. Like, you need to nourish your creativity. But I've just been starting like those studies of graphic design, so I can't really guide you totally on this. But for me, so far, I'm telling you that you may need creativity for it. But I mean, you can do any other art studies you like, even in the evening or even in other major that is not graphic design. But yeah, do what you can. But I'm telling you, I believe that creativity may be kind of important if you want to do graphic design. Next question.
All right. BTS on my home says, how do you practice or work outside from school, especially if the school doesn't help much and you gotta basically teach yourself?
Well, it's a little bit complicated for me to actually say this, since I did art studies, so it's like I was working on my own art at school, but I saw at home. But since it's a kind of studies that doesn't, if I can say it like this, require a lot of studies, you always find the time to do what you love. So yes, and here I'm in like evening studies, so during the day I have whatever time I have to do and whatever I want. I actually have like 4 days off, because I took like a dispense in a particular course, so I have like 4 days off during the week, so I can do and work on whatever I want, so it's easier for me. But some actually kind of know how to balance this even while working. I don't know how to do that, honestly, but it's mostly a question of organization. And if I have to be honest with you, if you're working in the art field, or if you like do art studies, sometimes it can be very tiring to go home and still do, because you've used all your creativity at school. Sometimes it takes time to adjust, but it's just a question of organization.
E3 Edit says, I have to leave early, but thank you so much for this. And well, our next question is from
I
Yana.
didn't saw the thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well,
But now I don't know if it's for other people or else. I'm sorry.
Yana says, wait, you can simply become a character designer?
Yeah, that exists too. There's so many, like I say, you will do like many arts to these. There's a lot. Art is everywhere. Basically, like you can do animation, and there's a lot of stuff to do. Like you can be a character designer, you can be someone that drew all the backgrounds, you can be someone that do 3D models, you can even do video games while being in the arts like studies. It's really opening a lot of doors. You just need to find what you want to do. That's why the reason why I call this talk art studies in general, it's because all of them requires the same rigorous type of work. Like it's really all a question of organization. You're gonna have deadline, which put the pressure. You gotta put the work into it. You gotta actually be organized to know what you need to do, because sometimes you will have to work on two projects at the same time. Like on all type of art studies, I really wanted to be general on it because they actually regroups all this time of constraints. Like it's simple, like even in video games, like they will ask you to do something in pixel, but you're more into something realistic. You're gonna have to deal with it. That's the way it is. Voilà.
Hello. And
I saw a question from Freyahan, and this one hurt because it's so true.
well, be prepared.
Did you get insecure with your art skill? How did you endow it? Yes, I think there's not a single person that didn't got insecure with their art skill. Like it's impossible. We all at one point got insecure about it, and there was a period of time, I believe it was last year, where I did a do this in your style from a friend, and I realized that I hated my art style. I was like, man, it's blank. It's not that exceptional. They got it. It missed something, and I got really depressed about it. I didn't do for like I don't know how much time, and then since I know the best way to learn for me is to watch spin paint, I actually did it, and now, oh boy, I feel so much better with my art, because the only way you get out of it is by tasting stuff. You gotta test stuff to get out of it. Like even if you think that's not current with my art style, no, just try it. Sometimes you just gotta try it. Your weight line, for example, like your way to draw a character, sometimes you just gotta change it. You just gotta have to try, and sometimes you will see that it doesn't match. Sometimes you will love your style better when it was like before, or maybe you will like it more with a few changes. Like I actually added a few changes to my art, and now I just love it so much more. And you gotta try stuff. That's the only way to like. If you get insecure about your art skill, either you gotta test that, either you gotta look at your old pieces, but while you're looking at those old pieces, you gotta remember how proud you were of them. That's how I feel like when I see a piece that is absolutely like let's imagine another artist will see their old piece, they will be like, oh my god, I was drawing so poorly, what the hell? But when I see my old piece and I remember how proud I was of it, and I remember my skills back at this time, I'm just still happy by seeing those pieces, because I know how proud I was by creating them. But yeah, you just gotta remember all the way you went through. Like you started from one point. Everyone wasn't good at drawing at one point, and then you are here where you are today, and that's the most important. You did all this path, and you should be proud of yourself, and you should love yourself. And even if you think that your heart is not that great, think that the past will look at you and be like, oh my god, you did that, that's so amazing. And even if you feel stuck, you will keep evaluating. Art is not like you will stop at one point. No, you always evaluate. So like it's important that You look at yourself and you think, if I get stuck, I shouldn't hate my art. I should like just test stuff and see if I like them. Art is just like a long walk. You won't stop at a certain point. You will like, sometimes you're gonna test stuff. You're gonna always evaluate. So if you feel stuck, you just gotta work. That's my only advice. And I hope it helps you.
Well, and Diana has another question. And she says, well, they say, sorry. This is more towards a few basics. Even though I've been drawing for a while, is there anywhere, or do you have any tips on anatomy and how to draw bodies?
My friend, I have amazing small books that I can show you, and I'm gonna do it quickly because the meeting ends in like 3 minutes. Yeah. Oh, I hope it would have been like a little bit longer so I would have answered everyone. I fell on this book and I'm telling you, these are absolutely amazing. They are written in French. I don't know if they are translated. I believe they are translated. But these are far from like the basic anatomy book that you can find because they actually show you with shapes. I find them amazing because it's more on the visual than on the anatomical way to draw stuff. Like for me, taking an anatomical book is like, it's too much because it's kind of too gory for me. So yeah, but I find this absolutely amazing. And if you want to give them a try, just give it because it's so worth it. It teaches you so well how to build stuff. It's from, I'm gonna type it quickly. Like, because the person is stopping, oh my god, Claude is sending flashback, and I'm like, oh my god, you were sending too.
Don't worry. Yana is correct. If you want, you can write it down in the Discord channel, so it doesn't get lost. And even a picture, if you.
I will send it. But I'm gonna do stop it here.
Frian is asking, is Morpho the name?
Yeah, it's the main name, but there's different terms. There's like synthetic forms, ends and feet, particular forms, muscular functions, and the basic weight. And there's another one where there's like about the bones and nails. So yeah, these books are amazing if you want to learn about anatomy, and I really love them, and it's my best book. Can I ask a question to you, Andy? Is there like, if anyone have any other question, can they ask them on the Discord or?
Of course. Yeah. If the meeting ends in like right now, well, it is ending. So thank you so much, guys, for coming. Please don't forget to.
Yes, thank you. I hope I answered everyone.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And keep enjoying ARTC. And thank you so much, Floyd. You're amazing.